Ladies and gentlemen, the chess cheating scandal of 2022 finally has an official, legally checked, thorough, written statement from Magnus Carlsen, the world champion. He hasn't been able to put out a statement because you really only get one crack at this after the entire drama scandal breaks loose. September 4th, 2022, he loses a game to Hans Niemann over the board in St. Louis in the Sinquefield Cup. The next day, he withdraws from the tournament. And the rest just, the whole chess world goes bananas. Everybody starts dissecting every game that Hans has played over the board over the last several years and throughout his rise after the pandemic was over, and so on and so forth. I'm going to get into this statement. I just got home. Literally, I was at the boxing gym. Look, Band-Aids from doing heavy bag work, no wedding ring on, haven't even showered yet. All right, literally just got home. I don't know why you have to know that. We're going to cover this statement. And then I'm going to talk, right? I'm going to talk about a few things. Dear Chess World, at the 2022 Sinquefield Cup, I made the unprecedented professional decision to withdraw from the tournament after my round 3 game against Hans Niemann. A week later, during the Champions Chess Tour, I resigned against Hans Niemann after playing only one move. I know my actions have frustrated many in the chess community. I'm frustrated. I want to play chess. I want to continue to play chess at the highest level in the best events. I believe that cheating in chess is a big deal and an existential threat to the game. I also believe that chess organizers and all those who care about the sanctity of the game we love should seriously consider increasing security measures and methods of cheat detection for over-the-board chess. When Niemann was invited last minute to the 2022 Sinquefield Cup, I strongly considered withdrawing prior to the event I ultimately chose to play. That's big. We're going to talk about that later. I believe that Niemann has cheated more and more recently than he has publicly admitted. His over-the-board progress has been unusual, and throughout our game in the Sinquefield Cup, I had the impression he wasn't tense or even fully concentrating on the game in critical positions, while outplaying me as black in a way I think only a handful of players can do. This game contributed to changing my perspective. We must do something about cheating, and for my part going forward, I do not want to play against people that have cheated repeatedly in the past because I don't know what they are capable of doing in the future. There is more that I would like to say. Unfortunately, at this time, I am limited in what I can say without explicit permission from Niemann to speak openly. So far, I have been only able to speak with my actions, and those actions have stated clearly that I'm not willing to play chess with Niemann. I hope that the truth of this matter comes out, whatever it may be. Sincerely, Magnus Carlsen, world chess champion. But not the defender of the upcoming world championship. But for now, yes, the world champion. Okay, folks. All right, this puts to bed a couple of things and a couple of crazy theories that obviously Magnus did not mean to say that he was accusing Hans of cheating. And here's the thing. Since September 5th, the entire world has been going absolutely insane because a lot of you started attaching yourself to theories that made no sense, that Magnus Carlsen's team leaked prep, God knows what else. And now we have a degree of clarity. Now, I want to go through this. Okay, I want to go through this statement. I have a list here of things that I want to talk about. It's not all of it is going to be brand new. Some of it will be regurgitated, but I hope we can pinpoint certain things, throw the dart into the target. I don't know what that's all called. So, here is what Magnus said. The big one was when he knew Hans Niemann was a replacement for Sinquefield, he withdrew from the event. A lot of you don't know this. The Sinquefield Cup player field was 100% determined. Richard Rapport could not play. He couldn't make it to the US, okay? They put Hans Niemann in a week prior. So Fabiano Caruana was on a podcast. He was actually the first one that leaked this. I don't know if all of you saw this. C-Squared podcast. Make sure to check it out. Christian Kirilla, Fabiano Caruana, they did a recording, and I was shocked Fabi let that leak because nobody had ever said that yet, okay? He said that Magnus didn't want to play when he knew he was the replacement. That's huge because a lot of people thought, oh, he lost, he rage quit, he's a baby. Like, I saw these crazy things about Magnus has never done that. So there was something there. That probably means that Magnus was like, I want to withdraw from this event. And then he goes into this statement here that, we need to tighten our security measures. Okay, literally, like, that's within the same paragraph. In fact, he says we should seriously consider increasing security measures over the board chess before he says the thing about Hans Niemann and wanting to withdraw. So what does that mean? Well, anti-cheat measures mean players walk through those scanners. They have to have nothing metal on them, and they get wanded. Do they get patted down at the airport? No, because no one is worried they're going to carry in an explosive. What if they're carrying a micro earpiece? What if they have extremely long hair? So what does this mean going forward? Are players going to have to take their shoes off? That doesn't sound unreasonable, right? Some people might think that sounds insane, but cheating measures are cheating measures. In fighting, sometimes you have to get woken up at 5 a.m. before a fight. Like the last day of the fight, you got to do blood, you got to do urine work, because that's the way they will catch people who might be cheating right before the fight, that last minute when the supplement can burn out of your body. I don't know how it works in sports. You can collect blood and urine. You can't do that in chess. Speaking of which, that might be an entirely separate thing, okay? That might be an entirely separate conversation. Various, nootropics, I mean, God knows what, right? But specifically for devices. I don't know what that means, right? Does that mean that just you got to make the players take the shoes? Maybe you got to have your hair back? But how does that even work, right? Like what, you have to check the ears? What does that mean? I don't know. I'm asking you, I'm asking the world, I don't know. But that's what he said. Now the big one here, he also said, I believe Hans has cheated more and more recently than he's publicly admitted. So he's cheated more. Not just 12 and 16 years old. That's what Magnus is saying. He's saying, I believe that. He literally said that. And more recently. Okay, so he's saying he's done it more. Does that mean online? Does that mean over the board? There have been a lot of, like I said, people have started going back. They've started dissecting every game he's played, right? Like, this is a thing that's going on. And, it's one of the things that I think I saw this on Reddit. Like a French thing, a bouquet of evidence, right? Unfortunately, there's a lot of signs that people are pointing to that could make a strong case that I have said in previous videos, like the suspicion is justified. But there still is a lack of literal proof. Okay? Make no mistake, there is a lack of proof because the proof in chess is not the statistics. That is absolutely used as proof. But what is the physical proof of cheating, right? The physical proof we're talking about, people are talking about actually getting caught with some sort of mechanism to tell you moves, actually getting caught, someone telling you signals. That is what people are referring to as the proof. The statistics of the games, right? The behavior over the board, as Magnus is describing here, that Magnus is saying when he was playing against Hans, Hans was not stressed. He was not tense. He was sitting around, looking around, relaxed, playing moves, and slowly outplaying him. But Hikaru did a really good analysis. He did a good video. Watch mine to the end. Don't leave. But Hikaru did a video where he did like the whole chess-based analysis of the Magnus game. Magnus played like 43% engine correlation in that game. That might have been due to the stress. That might have been to the previous knowledge, knowing that he's playing somebody who has cheated in the past, right? So he might have played a very poor game for his standards, and Niemann might have just played at his level. That's the thing. Now with all the speculation, have you felt like this? Let me know in the comments. Have you felt like now nobody truly knows the power like that Hans has over the board, and this sucks. And I'm going to talk about this later. I'm going to talk about all this later. So I don't want to get off track. I'm trying to go kind of line by line here. So that was another thing that Magnus has said about his opponents. Magnus has been face to face with all the best players in the world, and he's saying Hans behaves differently. One other thing that doesn't serve Hans in any beneficial way is those interviews. The chess speaks for itself. It must be embarrassing for him to lose to a guy like me, right? We haven't had, the thing I keep describing, we haven't had a guy like Hans in the chess world ever. Crazy, astronomical rise. But Hans also calls his shots like Babe Ruth. When Babe Ruth pointed and then hit the home run, that's what Hans has been doing. Like, he literally will be like, I'm going to go win that tournament, Like, I'm going to go dominate, and he's doing it. So it's not doing him any favors, and that I think also might be setting off some red flags or whatever in all of this. And the last thing, we must do something about cheating. I don't want to play against people who have cheated in the past. I don't know what they're capable of doing in the future. And basically says, I need permission from Niemann to speak openly. Okay, I'm not a lawyer, and I hate to backseat in a field that I don't understand because, y'all do that to me sometimes in chess. That's probably some lawyer speak, right? That's probably like, one of the parties has to give the other party permission to speak openly and then not sue them for that. That's my theory. I don't, you have to give me permission to speak because if I present all of this stuff, you can now try to sue me. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe let me know in the comments, right? And then he ends it with, I hope that the truth of this matter comes out, whatever it might be, right? And that's the statement. So I've made a little outline here. A lot of top guys. Nepo has talked about this as well. Jan Nepomniachtchi did a podcast on his own YouTube channel. He said he also was suspicious about Hans before the tournament, right? Because they know about the history. All right, the chess world, what a lot of you don't realize is 97% of you watching this probably got into chess in the last 2 years. Literally. Maybe you played chess when you were younger, but you got into chess from 2020. It's just the truth. It's just, nobody really watched us back in the day, all right? We weren't that popular. But then y'all realize, oh, it's a cool game, cool influencers, cool creators, whatever. I'm gonna stick around. This actually, this is an interesting game. And the insiders of the chess world, they've known things for years, right? Before the boom. And so that's where this kind of disconnect is, because a guy like myself makes videos for all of you. Some of you might only watch me for recaps. You don't want to follow the day-to-day of the chess world. You don't watch all the chess terms. You might not even familiar with all the players. You just come here or to Hikaru or Agadmata or whatever, big channel, and that's how you get your chess content, right? So we are sort of like the mouthpieces. We're sort of the channel to connect to all of you. You might not know all the stuff that's going on in the world of chess, but it seems like the top players have had suspicions. Now, here's my thing, okay? A lot of those top guys came out and said, we don't think Hans cheated in the Singfield Cup. Magnus is basically very clearly insinuating he does in fact think that there was cheating in the Singfield Cup, which is a very big disconnect. Because a lot of those guys might have said stuff privately, but they've said they don't think there's cheat. So that's a big one. That is a very, very big disconnect. I've already talked about the anti-cheat measures. Guys, I have a question. Please let me know what you think about this. I don't think there's a sport out there that does one strike ban. Doesn't matter if you take performance-enhancing drugs. Doesn't matter if you violate anti-doping or marijuana policies in the NBA or something like that. You might get suspended for a bit, but you're always allowed to come back as long as you're clean. Why is that so crazy in chess? I get it, but if you cheated as a goofy 13-year-old on some online website, but you stuck to chess, you got banned, you went, damn, that was really stupid of me, and now you just grind and you don't cheat, are you really never allowed to play an over-the-board tournament again? I'm not saying that's what Hans did. There seems to be more than that. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you cheat in a Title Tuesday as a 20-something-year-old and you're a grandmaster, right? Should you be banned from all over the board events because you're like what do we do? What is the rule? My rule, you want to know my rule? I thought about this, all right? I thought about this. I think if you're found cheating over the board, that could be argued as a permanent suspension. Maybe suspension of at least 5 years. Crazy strict suspension, and maybe one more strike, permanent ban. Online, if you cheat, okay? If you cheat when you're under the age of 18, there's got to be more chances. Now, here you're going to be like, well, what if you're 17 and a half? I feel like if you cheat before you're the age of 18 or 16 or something, are we really going to judge you for the rest of your life? No, because we literally don't even judge you in the criminal system that way, okay? Maybe they get one more strike. And you say, oh, well, that's just going to encourage it. Is it? Is it, though? I don't know. This is just my theory. I don't think people should jeopardize their entire career in something like chess when they do something when they're 14 or 15 years old. I just don't. Of course, if it continues to over the board, okay, well, yeah. But with those combined anti-cheat measures, delayed broadcast, scanning all the players with not just metal detectors, pat downs if you have to do it, right? Airport style. If it has to be done, it has to be done. Look, there's no way around it. We're not too elitist to not touch the players prior to the appropriately. Make them take their shoes off. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it. My last thoughts on this are I'm exhausted. Okay, I talked about this very openly. I went on a Tanya Sajdev. I talked with her on the last day of the broadcast. Folks, if you haven't clicked off yet, viewer retention on YouTube is roughly 50 to 60%. So some of you will never see this part. If you do, tell me in the comments. I'm exhausted. And the truth is, I am biased in all of this because I am a creator. I am a YouTuber. I am a creator. It is beneficial for me when chess drama happens. I'm not gonna bullshit you, okay? Parents, sorry, your kids were gonna learn that word at some point. I'm not gonna bullshit you, all right? It's great for me. It's great for views. I enjoy making these videos from the perspective of views. I do. I'm sorry. Does that shock you that this, my profession, which is solely based on the metrics of views, corresponding with reliability and me being truthful and honest with you, like that's the balance, right? But I'm tired of this. Guys, I'm tired and we're in too deep. And innocent or guilty in the party of Hans, like on that side of things, we're in too deep and this sucks. And maybe it had to happen. Maybe in retrospect, we will look back and say this had to happen. But my God, I cannot imagine being in the shoes of an individual who perhaps legitimately cheated, sure, but that feeling of perhaps the whole world pointing at you and, I mean, being scrutinized, analyzed, every single move you make. I mean, it just makes me feel dirty and uneasy. And throughout this process, I've really tried to be like, dude, the guy's he's a young dude, man. And even if it's somehow throughout this process proven that, you know, he hasn't been clean, I mean, like, we gotta let the man live his life. All right, you gotta, like, be able to move on from this, because you gotta do something. Gotta do something. I don't know what, but this is like, this feels, all of this feels crazy, and I get it. We gotta protect the game, and I get it. The interviews that he's done with the Magnus must be embarrassed losing to me, and chess speaks for itself, and all this stuff. I get it. You know, it doesn't serve to his credit, but do any of you feel that way? I mean, of course, let alone if he's innocent. Oh my God, if he's innocent, I can't even. But Hikaru himself said it too. Hikaru in his video was like, look, all this stuff's coming out. Like, when's he going to say something? I don't know when he's going to say something. I'm sure he's talking to some sort of lawyer, some legal stuff going on. I don't know. That I don't know. But I can't help but feel like all of this stuff is just so, like, I'm trying to tell you, like, as a human, I'm trying to empathize. I get as a creator. I already gave you up front the disclaimer. Like, of course I'm biased. Man, this stuff sucks, man. Like, of course, millions of people talking about chess all over the world is being talked about on shows. Every major news network is immediately tuning in now. We're talking about those beads and what. Tired, guys. I don't know, man. I don't know. Now, Magnus is never going to play him again, so what? He's never going to get invited to a top tournament? Magnus is going to tell all the organizers, I'm playing, which means Hans can't play. Like, I get it, but I don't, man. This stuff, I don't know. And you know, I need to make this video. I need to update you all right? But I'm not going to BS you as well. I don't know. And if he's guilty, he's guilty. You know what I'm saying? But, like, he's got to move on from this somehow. If he's guilty, he's guilty. He's going to have a scarlet letter. Maybe he'll go off and do something else. He'll go get hired. Maybe he's good at math. He'd be an actuary. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know where we go from here. Magnus gave a statement, but this hurts me on a human level. It hurts me on a human level. On a creator level, I already told you. I'm here, I'm biased, but I don't know what's next, guys. I'm just rambling. I tried to give you everything. You know what I'm saying? I tried to give you everything that I wanted to say. I'll see you in the next one, I guess. The next update, next video. Cheers, guys. Get out of here.